Welcome back. This segment of our program brought to you by Calhoun's. Folks, when you are eating at one of the 9 area Calhoun's locations, you are eating fresh food right from local farms. Whenever possible, Calhoun's supports local farmers, which in turn supports the local economy. When they say Calhoun's is the taste of Tennessee, they mean it. It's really the taste of East Tennessee whenever they can do that. Calhoun's, get out there and check out any and all of their 9 locations in the area. All right, I want to welcome in the next member of our panel down there, VFL Sterling Hinton. VFL LaMarcus Thompson was expected to be with us today. Flat tire, couldn't make it. I don't know if that's it or because he's a guy from Georgia, he just didn't want to deal with this thing today. Maybe that, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But Sterling, thanks for being here. I want to talk about the O-line. We'll start about the offensive line. David, I'll start with you, and Bob, if you want to chime in here too. The offensive line may be a little better than last. Maybe the last 2 weeks you can't run the ball. So I don't know how to say they're better, but let me show you something. People are saying this was supposed to be a great line, supposed to be experienced. All right, look at 2016. That's small text, I know, but 2016 is on your left. At left tackle, you started Richmond and Kendrick. Left guard was pretty much Robertson. Thomas and Wiseman split time at center. Wiseman and Jones split time at right guard. Kendrick and Hall. So you never had one set 5 all last year. Then you get into this year in the white, each game. At left tackle, you've had Kendrick for a game and then Richmond. At left guard, you've had Jones, Boulware, Kendrick was yesterday. At center, it's been Robertson except for the 1 week. He was out last week against UMass. Thomas was in. The only Mr. Consistent there is your true freshman, Trey Smith. Then you get to right tackle. It opened with Tatum. It went to Kendrick, and then it was back to Tatum. David, could that be part of the problem? And a lot of people are saying, how can you do this with all these veterans? Well, if the veterans never play together and it's the same 5 week after week after week, is that an issue or no?
No, it is. When you're talking about the offensive line, you're talking about 5 guys playing as one. You've got to have a core unit. It's okay to have that 6th guy that can rotate in case of an injury or something going on, but you know, that consistency, knowing what the guy next to you is going to do in a certain situation, things happen and change so quickly between the cadence and that ball snapping with defenses moving, and then at the snap, guys don't stay where they're at. They always move on defense. And so you've just got to know, where's his fit going to be on this block? What's he going to do if that linebacker comes? And when you mix it up like that, you mess with that inconsistency. The other thing I think, too, is you look out there, I think the guys long-term could be really good players, but a lot of them they are inexperienced, and they are younger. They just need to get bigger, stronger, but there's
some guys out there that, for example, not to call anybody out, not to put you on the spot, we were talking before the show about Marcus Tatum.
Yeah.
Looks like he could be a good player, needs to put meat on his bones.
He does. He's got some really good things he does technique-wise. He's got to get a little bit bigger. He's got to trust himself. It's close, but close isn't there.
Bob, what do you think about this offensive line and the issues?
Well, I tell you what, some of their issues, too, in my book, they feel free to disagree, is your play calling doesn't seem to help your offensive line at times. Georgia was doing a lot of shifting right before, and it seemed like a lot of times they were shifting to the play. There was something given away. Okay, now you got a mismatch. You've got too many guys to try for Tennessee to try to block, right. And I think that's the reason the run game didn't run as well. So I think offensively you could give them a little bit of help. Once again, I don't know how many different plays they ran, how thick their playbook is, but it seemed like it was a pretty thin playbook yesterday that you kept going back to the well and it wasn't working. That doesn't help your offensive lineman either.
No, it's got to be consistent.
Okay, let's move on. I want to talk about quarterback situation with Sterling and Jimmy down there. Quentin Dormady hasn't got tons of help. Let's put up a graphic here. Let's compare him to Jake Fromm. Now, on the season, Fromm has thrown 69 passes, 650 yards, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's pretty good. Dormady's had to throw twice as many passes. So in terms of what you're asking your new quarterback to do, more of it's being put on Dormady. You see what he did yesterday, 5 of 16, 64 yards, no TDs, 2 interceptions. Jimmy, did I hear you say that he had 1 pass to a receiver that was complete?
No wide receiver caught more than 1.
More than 1, there you go.
I think 2 wide receivers caught passes.
But the point is, you look at Jake Fromm, the last 2 weeks, Georgia has won by about 70 points over 2 SEC teams, and he's thrown 27 passes. Sterling, Dormady isn't getting much help, but he also, I mean, they opened up 5 wide yesterday. For all the people that say, well, it's because of the system, that's why he's struggling. They went 5 wide, and the first play was thrown late, and he stared the receiver down, and it was an interception. How much of his troubles are he's not getting help? How much of his troubles are he's just not confident in his own ability or the offense at this point?
Well, as I see it, this is my humble opinion, I think it's continuity. Our offense is like a song. You got to know each other's notes, know each other's nuances, and be able to compensate during the game, which happened in a fraction of a second. Just continuity. He's got receivers getting hurt, and he can't have time to build that continuity in an offense that's pass first. You know, Fromm has an opportunity to play an offense that would be antiquated according to today's football game with a fullback, that position. And so he's able to hand the ball off to a tailback to get progressive yards and try to stay ahead of the sticks on third down.
He's also got a defense that's tearing it up for him, too. It's a lot easier to play quarterback at Georgia right now than it is Tennessee. Jimmy, your thoughts on Quentin Dormady?
Well, I'm sure he's not going to admit this, but I think his confidence has been shaken a little bit. He's had at least 10 passes dropped. I don't think he threw the deep ball very well. I thought he underthrew it. I think he's staring his receivers down a little bit. He's not suited for a zone read. This is why they got away from a lot of the zone read principles in the Georgia game and some other games. I think Tennessee's going to have trouble winning with him at quarterback. From what I've seen, Now, I like what he did in the second half against Georgia Tech and fourth quarter against Florida, but I'm struggling seeing him succeed in this offense.
Very good, guys. There are a lot of folks talking these days about player development. I think it's a legitimate topic to discuss for one big reason, and that is it doesn't seem to me that Butch Jones likes to trust in his backups. 2014, he had all those young kids. He threw them out there because he didn't have anything to lose. Since then, he doesn't look like a guy that wants to play a lot of his backups. We'll discuss that next on The Sports Source.